Preface. Some wounds can only be expressed completely through a story. Some forms of pain are so deep that we can only tame them by naming them word by word. That is the artist's mission. But what happens when you lose a child and there is no word in the dictionary to name your loss? If you are Vivienne Sarobe, you write Santanhara. I met Vivienne at a jam session in a joint in Lavapiés, Madrid. She was singing jazz with overwhelming passion and strength. She sang as if her soul were torn, but at the same time as if she would never surrender. Although I still didn't know her story, I was able to hear it in her voice. Later on, we went to a park where we continued the jam session. It was night time, in the middle of November, and it was cold. When she said she was going home, I suddenly saw sadness in her eyes, an infinite sadness. A sadness that broke my heart. She seemed vulnerable, fragile to the extreme. Without the regal presence that had captured me when we met on stage. I offered to walk her to her car. She looked at me. I will never forget her eyes full of love and pain at the same time. "Thank you," she said. "I don't like to walk through the park alone." She reminded me of Blanche Dubois in a streetcar named Desire. Fragile and mysterious. I took her arm. It's as if she had said, "I have always trusted the kindness of strangers." We walked through the park, and when we reached the street, I opened the door to her taxi and closed it behind her, as if I were her bodyguard. The strangest thing about her is that she could be Blanche Dubois at one moment, and in a split second later, she was a lot like Scarlett O'Hara from Gone with the Wind, a strong, independent rebel. She was like Vivien Leigh, who could be the indomitable Scarlett and turn into the helpless Blanche Dubois. The day of the concert, she was Scarlett on stage, but in the evening, on the way to the taxi, she became Blanche Dubois. I had never met a woman like her. Not just because of how she spoke. That reflected a crystal clear, undented mind, but because of how she lived. She was simply the sort of woman who you want to become when you grow up. And not because she was much older than me, but she was old enough for me to project a future image of myself, an image that differed from what I had always felt regarding my identity. There she was, with her strong presence, carrying herself as a true queen, authentic, not arrogant. People influence each other. If we are lucky, if we meet people that help us improve and grow, life suddenly improves. Nobody taught me how to live, to really live. That is, how to live a full life of purpose and meaning. Then Vivienne appeared and showed me that life could be different, not because amazing things happened to us, but because of what you can do with it. It was as if someone had whispered in my ear that there was a key to open worlds, and she had shown me through her example, which is the only true way to make things sink into your bones. There are characters in literature that stay in our collective memory because of their heroism or dramatic lives, like Madame Bovary or Anna Karenina. There are historic characters we admire because of their struggles, such as Gandhi or Martin Luther King. They inspire and motivate us, but they are always too far away, too unreachable, too mythological. Here was Vivienne, a human in flesh and blood, continuously surprising me. "If you can name it, you can tame it," she always said. She has named the unnameable in Santanhara, because that is how healing begins. In her own words, art heals the unnameable. It's the beginning of the process that leads to integrate what is inconceivable or impossible to suffer. I know this book will help the people who haven't been able to name their horror. Pilar Puebla Agramunt, writer, dear friend, and someone who overestimates me. Thank you, Pilar. Santanhara, a short story by a grieving mother. Who am I? I was speechless. I'm sorry, honestly. Even though 10 years have passed since he died, even though I am a clinical psychologist with over 30 years' experience, even though I've read countless books on grief, consulted with the best minds I know in spirituality, philosophy, religion, science, and even magic. Although I've shared, cried, screamed, I have no solutions or advice to offer. All I can offer is my story so that you know I am with you, as are many others. Gustavo told me that funerals were for those of us left behind, that I should do as I pleased. Whatever suited me was fine. What suits me is to feel that perhaps someone feels less alone. This book is my funeral and my introduction to my fellow Santanhara and their circle. Grandparents, cousins, uncles and aunts, friends who were also immersed in that devastating vacuum produced by the destruction and death of a child, my only son. We exist. We are not few. We need to be included in the realm of possibility. We need a name and music. We have widow for someone who lost a spouse and orphan for a person who lost parents. But I don't know a word in English to describe someone whose child has died. Santanhara is the only term I found for parents who have lost a child. It's in Sanskrit, a very ancient language, perhaps, because it seems that we don't even want to name it. I also found the Hebrew word. Later I found huérfila in Spanish. It might translate as orphile if it existed. When he died, I faced nameless terror. A terror that disorganizes everything, confuses and disorients, until you cease to be yourself, becoming a ghost of what you were, wrapped in rags of frayed memories of my life, pursued and whipped by scorching winds that wore away my identity until I dissolved. When he died, I searched for my new name. What is a woman who has lost her child, her only child? Thanks to words, terror can attain a shape. It can become conceivable, thinkable, nameable. Now I know I am what I am, Santanhara, Imma Shakula, an orphile. That's what I'm going to be for the rest of my life. It's not going to go away, because he's no longer alive. I'll never be anything else, so I have to learn to use my name. This situation is by no means something I can accept, understand, resolve. I'm still angry, still shocked, isolated from much of society that dares not name us. I still feel everything I felt from the beginning. I will always live with my loss, my grief. But over time, I feel more than just grief. And sometimes these new feelings become the center of my experience. They sound as loud or louder than my grief. That's how I know I'm alive. Living with the death of your loved ones is like living in a city like Rome. My life unfolds in a modern city, with new buildings and paved avenues, traffic lights and shops. But it's built over another city, now in ruins, with cisterns, forums, coliseums, a civilization that I neither want to or can forget, because it defines who I am today. Grief and I hold a sacred bond that I don't want to break. I often have to face the ruins. They transport me like a wormhole. Sometimes an image, a smell, music, or words take me to a memory that, makes me fall into a pit of the past. I stay inside, looking around, feeling things that used to be and will never be again. At first, I thought I would remain here forever, imprisoned. But over time, I've learned not to panic, to give myself time to be there, to appreciate everything like an archaeologist appreciates the treasures of the past, with admiration and gratitude. It's all still there, a last piece of evidence, a treasure testimony of the past. Getting out of these moments is like an adventure movie. First you have to calm down, look around, and eventually you find something that connects you to the world above. You follow a smell, a draught of air, a sound, a light. When I come out, I have a bittersweet sensation. I don't want to forget. It means too much to me. I don't want to stay there either, because down there, there's nothing alive to feed me, but it's part of who I am. Lately, I can visit more and more out of choice, not by accident. This book and its music is one of those visits, with respect, with a purpose, to value what we had, that treasure, to pay tribute to the ephemeral beauty of life. After all, nothing lasts forever, but it did happen. Poets can be trusted with these affairs. The poet Marcia Mansur Cardelus wrote in the first draft of her poem Everything That Ever Was, from her book of poems 50 Houses. Everything that was is still and always will be, for things do not undo. And the unforgettable poet José Saramago insists. There's a saying that's as common as it is false. The past is over. But the past is never over. If anything is never over, it's the past. The past is always there. We are the memory of ourselves and of others. In that sense, we are made of paper. We are the paper where everything that happens before us is written. We are our memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red and grey and blue was the last time I saw you. Then in the space you left behind, I choose to go a little crazy. Walking in a home, I seek the mystery of you. Floating all around, sun shines, the sun just dances on the wall. There it is, the mist. I plunge into it. A little crazy is alright. I hear your laughter. To let you go. I know you'd laugh and answer back with hard silence, so I laugh too. A little crazy is alright. I bathe in the mist of you. When the misty mystery floats by, I'm hurled into it. Floating in the mist I resist what I refuse to say. We didn't build our lives this way, but it's okay, 'cause I fill it with the mist. The misty mystery. Here I'll resist it. A mist of love, a mist of life, a mist of you. Little crazy, it's okay. I talk to you all day. I talk to you all day. A little crazy, oh, misty mystery, Peace by delusion. Seeing his lifeless body created a great silence that still resonates loudly today. I've seen movies where a bomb explodes and everyone is left stunned with a ringing in their ears that lingers for a long time, making people confused, off balance. That's how I felt, and I welcomed the numbness. I had no doubt. The struggle was over. After 10 years of everything revolving around easing his pain and keeping him alive, focused on the mission like a Marine, the disease has defeated us. He was at peace. We were free. I had nothing left to lose. My son's body was always sacred to me. He was a gift beyond anything I had imagined, one I never believed I deserved. From the moment he was born, every inch of him seemed perfect, of sublime beauty. Every detail was precious, his little fingers, his mouth, his hair, his long arms and legs, his eyes, his adorable little nose. That baby within the man my son became is always a part of me. The mold on his fingers, the texture of his hair, the scent of his crown. He died a very handsome young man, 6 feet tall, muscular, with thick brown hair, a magnificent beard that he learned to arrange in many different ways, elegant in his gestures. Seeing his lifeless body, I finally saw peace on his face. I was tremendously relieved to know that he would no longer suffer. Then his absence crushed over me like a huge wave. I no longer made him breakfast or bought him his food, or gave him his medication or made his bed, or brought him things to keep him entertained, or went to the emergency room every other day, or endured sleepless night, or feared his death, or imagined his funeral, or felt the horror of his constant suffering, or juggled to have the strength and serenity to keep doing what I did in my role as a nurturing mother, trying to make him feel my support, my presence, my absolute devotion. There was a great empty space left behind. Hope of recovery had long been lost. We had been adrift, surviving day by day, waiting for a miracle to relieve him, but it never came. We both knew we would be together in this battle until the end, back to back, fighting against his illness until one of us fell. He attempted suicide several times, seeking to escape from unbearable physical and mental pain. The physical pain had driven him mad. It gave him hallucinations, and madness robbed him of his main aspiration in life, to study physics, to be able to have a beer one day with a group of friends, to go and study at MIT. He loved romantic love. He adored girls. He would have been a great husband, a great father, a great man. I offered him any context to live, but he said he couldn't escape pain or his mind anywhere. Medication completely failed him. Even morphine couldn't relieve the pain in his legs. He lived in an absolute and devastating terror that would pounce on him suddenly, more and more frequently. I understood when he couldn't take it any longer. I deeply respect his decision and the courage it took to make it. At just 15, he took charge of his life, and he took charge of his death. That's why, when I saw him lying there peacefully, there was a great silence, and his absence commanded my life for a long time. I stopped measuring time. I paid my dues to sing the blues for a lifetime. The one I loved the most in life is lost. What am I to do when everything is blue? A blue day, a blue night, a blue song. How do I do what I don't know how to? How do I start to learn it all anew? Say, what sense does it make when I just give and life takes? I paid my dues to sing Love. Rescue. Gloria and Patricia took me to Paris. Gloria and Patricia took me to Paris. I don't know how they knew we had to do that, but they did. They're from Ecuador, from life and from the world. Patricia's daughter and niece came too. All of us in the same lovely apartment. So full of life and fun. The chaos was total and wonderful. Singing opera a little helped me clear my mind, as always. They tolerated my being off-key very well. My body was out of sorts. I even had to hide in an alley in Paris to pee on the street. I was incontinent in every sense. Nothing could contain me, and I couldn't contain anything. They submerged me in life, fully. No frills, sheer courage. They took the lead and made me live. We marched around Paris mercilessly, had a picnic in front of the Eiffel Tower on the first night, ate well, climbed all the climbable monuments, and went to see Impressionist paintings. Beauty, senses, company, exhaustion. Perfect. I bought a chompa. My Ecuadorian friends wear chompas, not wind cheaters, and took pictures of doors from the distant past that some wonderfully crazy artist had dreamed up. At Notre Dame, I broke down when I saw all the candles burning. So many shattered dreams, so much sadness, such desperation, hope in the form of supplication. Then we crossed the road to the most beautiful bookstore I had ever seen and ate ice cream that looked like a flower. Walking non-stop. That surge of life probably saved me. What a great move. Even so, it seemed to me that I was going to live among the candles of Notre Dame forever, praying for something impossible. I still didn't know how to surrender. I was still in shock. I don't do reasons. I don't do nice. Won't let my head rule. It's not the time these days. I'm back to my senses. Like a child. Oh yeah, I'm back to my senses. Back to wild. I hope for nothing. Can't even pray. I roam the bars, moaning the blues all day because I'm out. Exiled. These days I'm back to my senses. Back to wild. Tell me, did I see you? Did I free you? Did I love you well? Or do I miss you hell? I'm back to wild. I don't do reasons, and I don't do nice, and I won't let my head rule. It's not the time these days. I'm back to my senses. I'm just like a little baby child. Oh yeah, I'm back to my senses. Back to wild. I deep anger, back to wild. My grief hasn't been linear. It's not like climbing a staircase. I would be sitting in the sun enjoying a drink, and 4 hours later I was wondering if my life made any sense. It's a roller coaster with spirals, ups and downs, impossible to predict. Anger comes and goes. I can't get over it, nor do I want to. My indignation is as big as my loyalty to my son. He deserved more. He deserved better. My anger is like a she-wolf's growl protecting her cub. It's a deep, natural, healthy anger. Every mother has the right to rage like a she-wolf, because I was built to protect the most precious thing in the world to me, my cub. My anger is love. I don't want to give up that love. Anger is a remnant of the protective force with which nature created me. Alas, although I was well built, I couldn't protect him. How could nature itself fail so terribly? How did that barrier of anger, that ancestral growl protecting a cub from a predator, not work? How did that disease dare to touch my cub, seeing what a fierce protector I am? I fought with everything that I've got and I lost. Civilization has been useless. My enemy was invisible. A part of me is wild, solitary. A part of me belongs only to nature, not to society, because society could not protect us. It failed us. It has no credibility for me anymore. Civilization is small, ignorant, insufficient. It's healthy to be furious because I'm a female and nothing is above the love for my offspring. It's a sacred bond, much older than any other. It's giant, eternal.
Be my rose, create
May his death not rob me of his life. Memories. Some say there are always happy endings, and that if you're not happy, it's not the end. Nothing could be further from the truth. His agony was terrible, long, and extraordinarily cruel. His illness and suffering had become intertwined with his essence. It has taken me 10 years to separate them enough to recover him. Throughout all these years, his suffering has been my main memory. Recently, I allowed myself to feel all the anger that his destruction had caused me. I have never been good at feeling anger. I'm usually calm and composed, but this is not a situation for composure. This situation calls for falling apart, because none of my old parameters fit into my new life, because everything is different. Everything has to change. Feeling the anger of his destruction has opened a door for me to remember who he was. Diseases and other tragedies often colonize their victims so intensely that we end up confusing the sick person with their illness, the victim with the aggression, and we lose our loved one completely. Following the archaeological analogy, we end up thinking about the ashes of Pompeii instead of the city full of all the life it destroyed. Now, finally, I can remember him, more than the cruel illness that destroyed him. Now I can sing this wonderful song written by Henry Purcell from the opera Dido and Aeneas. Now, yes, I remember him. It was summer. We were sitting on the sofa. I closed the window to avoid the draught. Unfortunately, I caught a poor, beautiful salamander in the window frame. It died instantly. Gustavo and I adored salamanders with their huge eyes and sticky paws. I was sad and told him what had happened. He was 12 years old. He looked at me with absolute serenity and asked me, "Did it suffer?" "No, it died instantly," I replied. "Then," he said, "the only one suffering is you, and you can choose not to suffer." That was Gustavo. Few had the privilege to know him. He was tender, very curious. He loved nature. A defender of noble causes, a music lover, a chess player, a joyful, playful child. Once I took him to meditate at a Buddhist temple. I was looking for any form of relief for his poor, tortured mind. "You've brought us a Rinpoche," they told me. Rinpoche means great respect. That's how they call reincarnated masters. I'm not particularly religious, but I do not believe that such a short life allows one to learn the level of wisdom he had. He brought something of his own into this world. At about 7 years old, his best friend Dario and he spent the whole summer playing with frogs, watching them transform from tadpoles, admiring how they swam, fascinated and full of excitement for every moment of transformation and play. Dario and his parents, the Darios, spent our best years with us. They were great companions in our adventures and always excellent human beings. Dario brought me the greatest gift the other day when I asked him to talk to me about Gustavo for this book. He reminded me of something wonderful. Until he was 13 or 14, Gustavo was happy. They knew each other since they were 5 or 6 years old. When they met, he was happy. That's the best anyone could tell me. He rescued the time when Gustavo was happy. Dario remembers Gustavo as his best friend. He says he was very creative, very funny, with a great sense of humor, and above all, the most important person in his life after his parents. We had such an affinity that I even liked doing boring things with him, like when you would take us to the garden center. It didn't matter because we were together. They played Zelda and Pokemon side by side, then made pizza from scratch, even the dough. Dario and Gustavo were inseparable. It was very funny to see them together. Gustavo the tallest in the class, he was off the charts. Dario the smallest, he had been premature. They spent a lot of time at home. I loved it. Dario always resisted leaving when they came to pick him up. Just a little longer, he would beg. Once, Nora, Dario's mum, told Dario to hurry up and put on his shoes because they were going home now. "But they're wet," replied Dario. Nora told him to go to the bathroom for toilet paper to dry them. Suddenly, Wanda, our dog, went to the bathroom and brought the toilet paper to Dario. Dario took the toilet paper from Wanda and dried his shoes as if it were the most natural thing in the world. The adults were perplexed. Wanda clearly pretended not to understand humans, but the children and she spoke the same language. Margi, a family friend 10 years older than Gustavo, suffered from a terrible rare disease. Her father was very insensitive about it and told her to quit the nonsense. "Just eat a proper big fat sandwich," he said to her. Gustavo said he was going to pay him a visit and teach him how to show respect. "That kind of man needs someone to teach him respect," said Gustavo. Margi, impressed by a 13-year-old kid taking it upon himself to defend her, told him that she appreciated his words, but he should be careful. "My father is very big." Gustavo simply replied, "All the better." Gustavo enjoyed beauty. Amalia, Gloria and David's daughter, came to babysit him one night. I went out. Amalia was about 18 and Gustavo was about 10. He treated her like a guest, showed her around the house. He offered her a drink and showed her an antique Chinese bowl, saying, "Look, Amalia, this Chinese bowl is an antique. How much do you think it's worth?" "I have no idea," replied Amalia. "Of course," said Gustavo. "This is priceless. Imagine how many hands it has passed through before it came to us. How many people have appreciated it? How many people have drunk from it? The world they lived in, their lives. And here is this object, pure history, in this house, after more than 100 years. In our hands. This is priceless." Amalia went home and told her parents that instead of looking after a child, it seemed that she had been on a date with a very interesting young man.
Spring isn't welcome yet. Spring isn't welcome
Time. It felt unreal the world would go on, for people to continue going to the office, that there was traffic, that there was news. To me, the world had stopped in silence. I was very disoriented for a long time. I still have amnesia of long stretches of time. At that point, I still didn't feel pain, just strangeness, disbelief, stupor, devastation. His essence continued to float everywhere. His absence resonated everywhere. The pain started when I began to resist his death. In these situations, it's not a good idea to think. Not a good idea at all. Realizing that I shouldn't think, just feel, was a great insight. I remembered the Bene Gesserit witch from the novel Dune who said, "Let the pain pass through you, and when it is gone, only you will remain." I haven't been able to allow all the pain its presence. I have resisted because it still terrifies me. I have tried to understand sometimes, a stupid attempt of feeling some level of control or power over pain and life. It's impossible. What is. Like a tornado, it sweeps away what it has to sweep away. There is no defense. I have spent 10 years collecting the remains of that tornado. When I was very young, there was a very, very high iron slide in the park next to the house. At 5, I really liked slides, but this one was so high that I was afraid, and I held on to the edges to slow myself down, burning my hands. That's what happens when we resist life's processes, the pain of loss, trying to think, reason, not accepting a process, trying to decelerate or control it. We get even more hurt. I am learning to accept that I have no idea why things happen in life, that I have very little control, that there are no guarantees of anything except that everything will pass. It comforts me to know that everything that was is still and always will be, for things do not undo. What has been cannot be undone. It has really been. It is a truth subject to a moment, before and after other things, like an event recorded by blockchain. He existed. He certainly has been here. The contrast between my personal time and external time seemed absurd. I have envied other people who can continue to enjoy their children, their career advancements, their weddings, their Christmas dinners, and their holidays. Many friends are grandparents. I never will be. On the other hand, some parents see their children's or grandchildren's illnesses, struggles with drugs, love, an accident, murder, torture, disappearance. No one is immune to mortality or suffering. In a way, I am freer than them, as Janis Joplin said in Bobby McGee. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Janis Joplin consoles me. She raved about love, life and loss like no one else. She suffered loud and clear. She carried her torn heart on her sleeve, and that helps me feel less alone. Sit there. Count your fingers. What else? What else is there to do? Oh, and I know how you feel. I know you feel that you're through. Ooh, sit there. Count. Count your little fingers, my unhappy. Oh, little girl blue. Oh, sit there. Oh, count those raindrops. Oh, feel them falling down, oh, honey, all around you. Honey, don't you know it's time? I feel it's time somebody told you, 'cause you've got to know. that all you're ever gonna count on or wanna lean on, it's gonna feel just like those raindrops do when they're falling down, honey, all around you. Oh, I know you're unhappy. Oh, sit there. Go on. Go on and count your fingers. I don't know what else. What else, honey, have you got to do? And I know how you feel. And I know you ain't got no reason to go on. And I know you feel that you must be through. Oh, honey, go on and sit right back down. I want you to count. Oh, count your fingers. My unhappy, my unlucky, my little girl blue. I know you're unhappy. Oh, honey, I know. Baby, I know just how you feel. Failure. Little Girl Blue talks about absolute helplessness, total failure, the loneliness and devastation in which life can leave you. Janis Joplin understood devastation. I, who am very organized in my chaos, place that horror, that devastation, in a deep well in the field of my life, and I make sure it's well covered. The cover is made of rage, creativity, pain, and a certain degree of numbness or distraction. More than his death, I am horrified by the suffering of his life, and by all the promises that life usually offers the vast majority of people that he was not able to enjoy. There is only one thing I can think of worse than seeing a child dying little by little and suffering every night and every day, knowing that he is suffering and not knowing what has happened to him or where he is, not seeing him dead, resting, or not being able to rescue him. In that sense, I feel that life took pity on me. At least I was with him every day and every night. At least I saw him dead. I was able to touch him, give him one last kiss, and see with my own eyes that he would no longer suffer in this world. His illness created absolute helplessness in me. That black hole covered in the field of my life is full of everything that was of no use. A thick, black, tar-like blob, the texture is important, of helplessness, hopelessness, and desperation, because nothing did any good. Neither conventional nor alternative medicine, psychology nor psychiatry, magic nor religion, no pleasure nor threats, nor pain, pressure or permissiveness, gifts nor discipline, questions nor silence, loneliness nor company. Neither did company nor solitude, sleep nor vigil, laughter nor tears. Our pets were no good. Neither were our friends, our work, prayers, pleas, or commands, our tears. Nothing was useful to give him relief. Nobody could help him. Nobody. Many of us tried with all our might. This pain is like a deep, insidious burn. I can go on for some time without thinking about it. I can choose not to open that well. I guess at some point I'm going to have to drain it. Allow myself to feel all the pain so that it doesn't remain stored inside me. But to do that, I will need a lot of help and a lot of courage, and at least a guess at how to transform it into something that isn't dangerous. Every day I am closer to daring.
Dry-eyed, you look at me and wonder why I'm dry-eyed. Oh no, 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 don't think I'm cold just 'cause I'm dry-eyed. You see, some things are too sad to cry. That's why my eyes are dry. And I'm I'm not trying to hide the pain, and I can't find a shoulder to cry. It's just the tears, they're lost inside. You see, those tears can't find my eyes, so I'm dry-eyed, and it hurts here, and here, ouch. There must be tears inside. It hurts in my knees, even in my arms and spleen, and it hurts in my thighs. Seems like the tears can't find my eyes. They wander all over inside. Dry-eyed, lost what mattered most, but my eyes are dry. People see me smile, they say my eyes are dry. You see, some things are too sad to cry. That's why my eyes are dry. To see if tears will arrive, to feel alive. Although I know, like the plant in the desert, I'm doomed if those tears don't arrive. So I sing the blues in the night. Blues, blues, please be their guide. Oh, dry, 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 my eyes are dry. Please find my eyes.
Pain. Living was partially a decision. I decided to live, especially because he asked me to. It's what he wanted for me. I have decided to live. I decided right away. It was an urgent decision. It had to be made soon, because it was very easy to decide to die, and very tempting to decide nothing at all, which would have left me between one place and another in a limbo forever. He helped me decide because he asked me to live. How could I deny him anything? He also asked me to be happy. I'm working on it. I read somewhere that we are the dream of our ancestors. We are the testimony of our dead. We are their representatives. And I believe that they deserve we represent them with the highest level of dignity, joy, generosity, kindness, and affection. I have transferred my motherhood to the world. I went through a period in which I dedicated myself to singing the blues, the flamenco of America, a very powerful music that takes all the pain you want to throw at it, shapes it with its rhythm and its predictable falls, removing the poison from your soul. The blues also saved my life. I literally crawled through the taverns after the music, crazy, lost, disoriented, looking for something. I think I was looking for the dignity that comes with flamenco, allowing you to break down completely and then re-emerge, being able to say what Manolete the bullfighter said, "I'm the one who commands my hunger." But I do not command my pain. So many things and so many people has saved my life. So much has been invested in keeping me alive. Each person, each moment of connection, beauty or understanding is a silk thread that sustains me and gives me a place to belong. I am so grateful to the musicians who welcomed me. I can't and don't want to turn the page. I am surprised and in awe at having chosen to live because it hurts. It hurts a lot. Pain makes me angry and anger gives me pain. But I'm alive, really alive. I can feel. I can create. I can think. I can love. I can desire. I can suffer. I can enjoy and cry because of other things besides my loss. Some of us continue living thanks to the fact that others want us to live, thanks to the fact that we see beauty, and thanks to the fact that something takes away some of the pain that would prevent us from touching the beauty or the hands that are extended towards us. Some stay in the ruins of what was and wander around with their ghosts, becoming ghosts themselves. I would like that not to happen to you. That's why I write. I don't want you to be a ghost. I know I could have been one. I was expecting cancer when it arrived. First, it got my mother, then me. The pain was so great that my essence couldn't handle it. Our bodies made the generous sacrifice to take on our pain. Gustavo is a piece of me, a chunk of me, yes. He's my flesh and blood, the minerals of my bones, my teeth. Science says that I have had his cells swimming in my body since conception. Hopefully it's true. Since I'm an expert in psychosomatic medicine, I knew the pain had to go somewhere, and there wasn't enough room for it inside my mind. I found out I had cancer after a month of certain emotional relief. A part of my nose started itching. Then it became sore and felt like there was a constant electrical tingle. A number of cells decided to become immortal and destructive. It was an aggressive form of cancer. Then the doctor simply removed the cells with a scalpel. It was a complex operation. I entered the operating theatre not knowing if I would have a face when I came out. Gloria and I designed a Phantom of the Opera-like mask in case I would need it in the future. Luckily, the surgeons saved my nose. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To the cells, to the surgeon, to the relief of the emotional agony. Our lives were saved thanks to surgery. Magically, a knife took away part of our bodies and with it, part of something indigestible for our minds. I will always remember the scene with the Indian mother in the movie A Man Named Horse. When her son died, an Indian woman amputates a finger. The physical pain seems to take care of some of the mental pain. Such great wisdom. I also became morbidly obese. I already had a tendency to swallow things. After his death, I gained more than 30 kilos, and I couldn't lose a single gram. I looked like a pufferfish. Obesity is the best guarantee to become unimportant, especially for a woman. It's a kind of suit that turns you into a second-class citizen, invisible to many people. It disempowers you, it degrades you, it shames you, it humiliates you. All kinds of principles, theories, and political correctness tells us that appearance shouldn't matter. But this has been my experience, and I know what I see. After more than 10 years of morbid obesity, bariatric surgery, and medication, I have almost managed to return to my normal size. Getting back to my normal size is an indicator of health for me. It opens the doors to society. I feel seen and respected again. It reminds me of geese. According to the famous ethologist and Nobel Prize winner Konrad Lorenz, you can tell the rank of a goose by how well they groom their feathers. With rare exceptions, I was invisible for many years. I am infinitely grateful to the people who were able to see me, those who, despite being trapped in an inflated body, saw me. 2 men named Juan Carlos saw who I was through my inflated suit. One, my outstanding therapist. The other, my lovely music producer. Being seen is like water in the desert. They don't realize all they have done for me. My gratitude is immense. Being seen reminded me of who I was and brought me back to life. I believe there is a tribe in Africa that condemns those who have committed a serious crime to being invisible. Once convicted to invisibility, no one acknowledges their presence. Everyone looks through them, ignores what they say, and attributes what they do to a ghost. These people end up going crazy, dying or leaving. That's how I felt for a long time. I haven't been able to cry for long periods of time. I have lost a lot of memory and have developed fibromyalgia, a constant pain, dull at times, screaming at others. I thank my body for taking on some of the load. My mind is more fragile than my body, it seems. Sometimes crying is not possible, because some things are too sad to become tears. They take the psychosomatic route in the absence of symbolization. Without words or images, they are a direct protest, which says, "You can't live like this," in body language. I have poured my hopes for reparation into the arts, a wonderful space between dreams and reality, much larger than the areas we can reach with our poor and rudimentary thinking minds. Everything that happens to us has been happening to all of humanity forever. And many of us have continued to live thanks to the fact that someone, somewhere, has given us their experience in a language that goes beyond reasoned information. I have become very close to the heart. The heart has reasons that reasons does not know, said Blaise Pascal. It speaks to us through intuition. It makes us feel, invoking responses much wiser than those of reason. For millions of years, we have only been able to express a fraction of what has happened to us. Art begins to name the unnameable. It's the beginning of the process that leads us to integrate what is unbearable or inconceivable. And when I want to feel at home, when I just want to be, I plunge into nature. I can't find you. Instead, I walk with death, hand in hand, under the darkest night, under the branches of trees that have lost all their leaves. We walk along colourless paths, freezing in a howling wind. I ask death to take me to see you. Death smiles tenderly and lets go of my hand. It says, someday the trees will bloom. Somehow the sun will rise. Don't call me, I'll call you. Then I walk alone. I walk with death. And then there is guilt. I have accused myself of not being good enough, but feeling guilty in my case is really an act of arrogance. Sometimes I have been tempted by the idea of not going on, perhaps also because it's hard to bear uncertainty. Anything can happen at any moment. We are defenseless when a cataclysm strikes. Feeling guilty has been a delusional attempt to believing that I could have done something to save him. It's wanting to believe that I have power over my existence, that I am someone, that I can compete with the cataclysm. I couldn't. No one could have. Some people believe that everything happens for a reason, that we choose our destiny. They have not seen what I saw, because nothing can justify the level of pain and terror that my son experienced. Even if his torment had ended all the evils in the world, it was worse than a crucifixion. He was a child, an innocent and very good child. When they tell me suffering has made you who you are, God never sends more than we can take. We choose our lives to overcome certain things and evolve spiritually, and other well-intended, but to me, obscene comments. They have no idea the effort it takes me to restrain the part of me that would chop their heads off with a single blow. They have no idea that they have miraculously survived an attack of a grizzly bear. Don't tell me the fucking gods demand the sacrifice of children. The idea that we choose catastrophes to grow is a desperate attempt to justify the unjustifiable. It's best to learn to tolerate that we are not in charge of everything. No mother should be told that her child was sacrificed on the altar of destiny for a mysterious reason. It's cruel. It's completely different to learn from suffering and try to help others. I hope that whatever killed him can be diagnosed and treated in the future. Somewhere there is another Gustavo undergoing the same torture he went through. No one deserves to suffer like that. And if I can contribute to relieve their pain, I will feel rescued by rescuing. That is why I have saved his medical history to share and analyze one day, when I have the strength or a similar situation arises. My most shameful and deep wound is that I am not sure I could have asked to take his place in his suffering. I have never seen such atrocious suffering. I would have faced thousands of situations, but the disintegration of his mind, the migraines, and pain in his legs that couldn't even be relieved by morphine, the voices, the paranoia, the constant terror, not sleeping for days. I am ashamed of my fear. I feel humiliated by my weakness, unworthy of being the mother he would have deserved. Maybe my fear is bigger than my love. I will never know. That tortures me sometimes. And that also prevents me from judging anyone else. I know I can be a coward. I feel that we are all children in this life because pain belongs to everyone. I feel compassion for every living being. But I have always been like that. I have always been sensitive to suffering. I pity those who, like me, are cowards. My mother, who is a very wise 85-year-old, says that there are times of destruction and times of construction. She knows that everything that exists has its shadow, its other side. To dare to live is to dare to have everything and to lose everything. There is no other option. It's all part of the same package. If I want to live, I have to feel everything that life brings me. If not, I'll be a zombie. There were 3 of us living at home: Gustavo, Wanda, a French bulldog, and I. Unless you have lived with a dog, you won't understand what I think they are. You won't understand why I think they are the best members of the family. Before he died, Gustavo told me to take good care of Wanda. At home, everyone gives what they can, but Wanda gives it all, he said. Dogs feel everything. They do not defend themselves from life. They live it with absolute devotion. And I think that many times they take care of what we cannot carry. Wanda accompanied him with total dedication, licking him where it hurt, being by his side when I went to sleep because I was exhausted and had to work the next day. Since Gustavo died, Wanda and I take care of each other. We are so close we have always gotten sick from the same things. If I ever uncover that well of melancholy to drain it, I will do it with her by my side. With the love of my dogs, I am able to go to hell and back. I know that they will never fail me. Their love continues to fill me, even from the grave. I hope one day I will love myself as well as they have loved me. I hope they know that they are part of me forever, and that my loyalty and love for them are eternal. If you don't have a dog, you won't understand. It cannot be explained until you live it. Like so many mysteries, like when you smell your baby's crown and feel that that bond is an irrefutable, universal truth.
all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that old cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll see you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you that way. I'll see you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Magic, tolerating not knowing. Gustavo played the cello. His favorite artist was Yo-Yo Ma. A dear friend invited me to a concert he gave in Madrid some years ago. Something extraordinary happened. Yo-Yo Ma pulled out a piece of paper at the beginning of the concert, and in impeccable Spanish he read something to this effect: I would like to dedicate this concert to all the people who have lost a loved one and had found meaning in life again through music. It felt like a direct message from Gustavo. The last song of the concert was a classical jazz song I've always had in my repertoire, I'll Be Seeing You. I always think of Gustavo when I sing it. It says, I'll see you in the morning sun, and I always think, I'll see you in the morning, sun. That's why I have put Yo-Yo Ma's most famous interpretation of Bach, the song that Gustavo aspired to be able to play one day, with I'll Be Seeing You, the last song from Yo-Yo Ma's concert in Madrid in 1923. The maestro knew what he was doing. Thank you. As I say, there are a lot of people determined to keeping me alive. Thank you. Death is so mysterious. Gustavo and I have never been religious. In the face of death and so many other situations, I would love to have answers, but I don't. I have stoically trained myself to accept that I don't know many things. I try to accept it, and I often wish I could do otherwise, and look for solace in religion or magic. When he died, and during his illness, I prayed. I visited fortune tellers, shamans, card readers. I read the mystics. I allowed myself to believe without really believing. I think there is so much that I don't know that it's safe to assume that he may be somewhere that allows me to be close to him. Above all, I hope that his suffering, the most cruel suffering I've ever seen, has not been in vain. It's unbearable to see the innocent suffering, so I allow myself to imagine without knowing the idea that his suffering was not in vain. Maybe it's madness, spirituality, religion, or magic. Nobody knows. I imagine because I have to stay alive and try to be happy because he asks me to be. My maternal instinct hasn't disappeared completely. It haunts me sometimes, and I hope that if there's another world, he will be okay there. One day I dreamt that he was riding on the tail of a comet, speeding through the universe. He was laughing happily. "Mummy, you have to see this," he shouted in excitement. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. Now I feel infinite compassion for every living being. Somehow I see him in all children, whether human or furry. Our vulnerability touches me. I'm still furious to see so much beauty going to waste. It drives me crazy. I feel outrage at the thought that we waste energy on anything other than love. How can anyone not know that the only important thing is to love, that we live for it, that we must alleviate suffering and treasure our experiences and memories of the fleeting beauty of life intensely so as to not waste the little time we have? I'll see you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you. These are bittersweet moments.
Lascia ch'io pianga mia cruda sorte e che sospiri la libertà e che sospiri e che sospiri la libertà. Lascia ch'io pianga mia cruda sorte e che sospiri la libertà. Lascia ch'io pianga mia cruda sorte e che sospiri la libertà e che sospiri e che sospiri la libertà. Lascia ch'io pianga mia cruda sorte, dubidanda e che
Family, let me cry. Lascia ch'io pianga. When it came to mourning, my family was no help to me, and even his father was even more out of the picture. Beyond the fact that although family members love us or can be very good people, they do not necessarily understand us. Some may even be terribly harmful to us. There is something to bear in mind. Everyone grieves in their own way. When someone is grieving, it's hard to receive and hard to have anything to give. I wasn't able to console anyone. I'm having a hard time comforting myself. Those closest to Gustavo even today cannot talk about his loss without breaking down, and I can't handle taking care of their pain, so we don't talk about it. And they can't comfort me either. If we cry together, it becomes a perfect storm. That's one of the reasons I'm writing this. Everyone has to cope with their own grief. We are alone. Every family designates roles to their members. During mourning, everything falls apart, creating chaos. That's why many couples separate after the loss of a child. They mourn differently, and neither can help the other. Furthermore, a sense of shame, blame, and guilt can spread unchecked throughout the entire family. Everyone wonders what they did wrong, because a dead child feels like the entire family has failed, and it has. It's unnatural. In a way, the entire family is castrated forever. The entire family loses and knows that they have failed to keep one of their own alive. There is a breach in the wire, a hole in the boat. The entire family becomes aware of their incompetence in the face of death and destruction. The loss is monumental. It becomes a shadow, a curse of legendary proportions. This is how it has been for our family and our community. I have broken contact with people who did not help me and tried to use me to release their own frustration and pain. They had no right to use me, of all people. Let everyone pull their own weight, at least in this. We are alone in our pain, but not always. I grew up in Africa. Margaret worked at home. She was a Xhosa woman, beautiful inside and out, very wise, very natural, and very self-confident. Apparently, she had told my mother that when she grew up, my sister would be a businesswoman like my father, and that I would dedicate myself to healing people, but not with medicines, with words. She got everything right. Margaret went to church on Sundays and came to work hungover on Monday. At shesh, her word for church, or mass, she told my mother, who is a solemn Catholic used to elaborate Baroque churches, "We sing, and we cry, and we dance, and we pray, and we feel God." I would have converted without a moment's hesitation if I had ever lived that experience. That would have helped me, really. No one could take care of what I hold inside, because it takes an entire town, a tribe, a community losing its fucking composure without fear. A community that tears their clothes, fearlessly opens the door to feelings, a community that would understand that I would like to shave my hair, scratch my face with my nails, or carry on whatever way I wanted. I didn't go to the funeral because there was no space that could contain my pain. There is a part of me that is completely free, wild, natural. Surely the one I like the most, the one I trust the most. Now that my grief is half tamed or civilized, I can take it for walks. I have already found places where it might fit in. Much of it stays in that hole in the field of my mind, so as to not contaminate, as if I collected the garbage of a field trip and took it with me in a bag. What most people don't know is that the African tribes appreciate all feelings. They know that sharing pain nourishes. Unprocessed pain that doesn't fill into this pleasant and civilized world seeks ways to escape, and if it is not readmitted into the community, felt in communion, if the community does not truly absorb it, individuals take it in alone, any way they can manage. It burns. Just like horse manure must be dissolved so that it does not burn the field, people's pain must be dissolved among the entire community. When we share it, we are reborn together. In our family, other things have brought us together, but not comforting each other. Gustavo advised each of us before he died. He was very, very wise and generous and wanted to protect us from total destruction. Before dying, he entrusted each of us with our own development. He ordered my mother to paint, and at age 78 she started doing it. Today, at 85, she produces a couple of wonderful oil paintings every month. He told me, in the purest Gustavian style, "Mummy, your friends are very kind, but you don't sing very well. But if you take lessons, you will take off exponentially." I took his advice. Music is my greatest source of energy and happiness. Gloria and David, my dear friends, an example as a married couple, put me in their rock group for 4 years. Will they ever know how much they supported me with that band? With their company, their passion for living, the love they have for each other, their love of nature and life, their curiosity, their sense of humor. Ironically, we called ourselves Zero Gravity. Maybe because nothing seemed very serious or grave when we were playing music. It certainly lightened my load a lot. My post-traumatic amnesia prevents me from remembering all the people, all the friends who keep me alive every day and who were there when he died. Belen, his doctor, for instance. Deirdre baked his last birthday cake. Life was bleak. She seemed like the only star in the bleakest sky that has ever existed. Her wonderful husband, Bernard, such an outstanding gentleman. Inna, my mother. Margi, who heroically supported me. Her mother, who loves me. So many friends who love me. I disappointed some friends, Kelly and Juan. I couldn't support them when they needed me. It's not that they don't understand, but they really needed me, and I couldn't be there for them. I couldn't support Kelly with her cancer. I couldn't support Juan, an older friend who I had promised to accompany when he died. I had nothing to give. I went to see him at the hospital, trying to at least keep him from worrying about me, hiding my grief and my limp, talking to him about projects to camouflage my feeling of total helplessness. I failed miserably. I seemed distant and ridiculous. These things remain. They can be forgiven by common sense, but they cannot be repaired, no matter how much I regret it from the bottom of my heart or ask for forgiveness. We are so limited. Sometimes we forcibly abandon those who love us and need us. We can't help it. You lose a lot when you lose. As the Spanish saying says, if a dog is skinny, it's full of fleas. Or the Bible says, for whoever has, more will be given to him, and he will have more than enough. But whoever does not have, even when he has, will be taken away from him. Matthew 13:12. My mother and I spend our days working on our artistic projects. She keeps the garden in spite of and because of her age. She says gardening is better than Pilates. In the afternoon, when our neighbor's cat, who decided to adopt us, visits us, we share tea, and the results of her paintings, her garden, my music, and my books. At those times we're a family again, and Gustavo is with us. He lives in our paintings, plants, and songs. We continue to grow thanks to him. That's how he helps us create our family. He left us a path for living. I write, sing, see friends, walk in nature. Thank you.
I wake up, there are bundles of love all over me. In my bed, piled on my chest, I can hardly breathe. Bundles of love. I get up, trip on bundles of love, fall down, bounce back onto bundles of love, and sneeze. they tickle my nose and cheek. I always told you to pick up your things, but I welcome these bundles of love, they're yours. And I knit those bundles of love into warm, soft, sweet words to give someone like you a place to feel safe, somewhere to feel warm, somewhere to feel home. And I carefully place the threads of the bundles in patterns to make compassion when someone needs hope. After all, what can I do but use our love? It's all I ever wanted, 'cause you are love. After all you went through and asked me to go on, here I'm weaving bundles of love. There's bundles of love all over the house. They pour over me as I open the car, on the stove, in my bag, on the walls. They jump out of trees and materialize from songs, even when I go for a walk. And I build a bed for our dog with your bundles of love. I cook big pots full of hope. Then I dish it out to anybody who needs a thread to make a dream come true. To a plant and an ant. Things I'd never seen before, 'cause the bundles of love make me see 360 degrees. And I feed my friends, they're getting fat, and making them silly gifts overflowing with bundles of love. I write books with our bundles of love and music, and learn to love the most unexpected beings, 'cause I have bundles and bundles of love that weave me into every heart, every life, everything that reminds me of you. That's everything that's alive and everything that's not too.
Surrender by determination. I believe life is much more resilient than we can imagine. The number of catastrophes and terrors we have survived as a species is unimaginable. An infinite amount of love fuels life. I am sure we still don't know half of what life on Earth has endured. The extinctions, the cataclysms, the lost cultures. There are so many mysteries. There are species of conscious beings with unimaginable consciousness to us. How does a starfish or a bird feel and think? I know nothing, and at this point, honestly, I don't know if it's useful to know anything. However, I can't help but to be very curious. We must have evolved to live, because this crazy thing called life, objectively, doesn't seem to make much sense. But we insist on living. We yearn to live. It's a desire that comes from within. It's not logical at all, just like being a mother. My body wanted to be pregnant. What am I saying? My body demanded to be pregnant. I feel my time to leave the world hasn't come yet. I must make sure I live. I really live my life. I may leave this life full of scars, but at least I will have lived and died standing on my own 2 feet. Part of living fully is daring to investigate what happened to him, why his mind was destroyed, why his body suffered so much pain. And if I can't do it, at least I will leave the information I collected about his illness for someone else. My determination to contribute to a better life is inevitable, illogical, instinctive, fanatical. How strange that whenever I can, knowing how hard it is to live, I save a life. I remove insects from the pool. I rescue fallen birds from a nest. I even carefully remove spiders from the house on a piece of paper. And spiders scare me quite a bit because I never know if they're going to jump or in which direction they're going to run? Where does my veneration for everything that is alive come from? Where does the unquestionable desire to comfort, alleviate suffering, nourish, protect, pamper, marvel at the beauty of every living being? I can't resist it. It's who I am. My desire to preserve life is irrational and stubborn, just like my instinct. I don't even want to harm or kill those who harm me. I just want to look for a common ground so that we can live happily, although sometimes I know there isn't any common ground. To me, confronting, warring, and destroying is so difficult that I always try to find any other option. I can fight pretty well, but I don't like it at all. Am I delusional for wanting harmony, for believing in it? Or are we condemned to an existence filled with cruelty throughout eternity? I had hope that we would mitigate cruelty, and now I think I'm wrong, that I'm missing a concept. Perhaps horror is an intrinsic part of all that is forever. Maybe it is inherent to the cycle of life. I don't want to give up believing in a life without horror completely. I want to believe that by wishing for an end to terror and cruelty, we will manage to diminish it. Part of living fully is opening the well of horror and living the sadness that I carry inside, draining the well of tar-like melancholia to see if there is some water of life and hope, some magic at the bottom of the well. I have surrendered to the evidence that I don't understand anything. But I have realized that being is more important than understanding. I don't intend to solve any mysteries. I can't. I give up. It's liberating to surrender and simply be, without resistance, like the trees, like the grass, like the water, like a dog. Will the dark side of life always be part of life? The strange thing is that we continue to be magnetized by the beauty of living, even if it's terribly costly and painful. But it is what it is.